Hi, I'm Muggs McConnell, and this is the 5th episode of Snippets of Yoga Philosophy. And last episode, episode 4, I talked about the 3 gunas and how they're introduced in chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita. And I felt that they're worthy of a little bit more explanation, because when we look at yoga philosophy and integrating it into our lives, it's life-changing. And so I wanted to share some more from the Bhagavad Gita of how to integrate the concepts of the 3 gunas into our lives. So in chapter 14, it just introduces the gunas here in various ways of the meanings of sattva, rajas, and tamas. So the 3 gunas are the 3 qualities in all of prakriti, or nature, everything that is manifested. And sattva is purity and light, harmony, balance. Rajas is activity and passion. And tamas is inertia, kind of not really putting in enough effort, darkness, inertia. And so that's introduced in chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita. But when you get into chapter 17, this is where the Gita really talks about how we can relate to the activity of the gunas in our everyday life. So I wanted to share some about that. It's about in the food we eat, how our mind is, if it's harmonious or not, the words we use, the gifts we give, etc. And seeing as we're at this time watching this video, we're moving toward November and the time of gift giving for Christmas in some cultures. But at any time when you're thinking of giving gifts, etc., I thought this could be quite valuable. So if you didn't hear the episode before, then go and listen to that. And then this is an add-on to episode 4. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 7, hear now of 3 kinds of food, the 3 kinds of sacrifice, the 3 kinds of harmony, and 3 kinds of gifts. So those who are pure like food, which is pure, which gives health, mental power, strength, and long life, which has taste and is soothing and nourishing, and which makes one glad of heart. This is sattvic food. And those who like food that is acidic and sharp, salty and dry, and which brings heaviness or discomfort, a little pain, well, that is rajasic food. And those who eat food which is stale and tasteless, been left too long in the refrigerator, impure, unfit for offering to others, well, that is tamasic food, and you really don't want to eat it because there's no prana, no life force in that. Coming to a sacrifice, I mean, giving of yourself, right? When a sacrifice is an offering of adoration in harmony, with no expectation of reward, like giving of yourself some time, some effort to help someone out without expectation of return. And the heart is saying, this is my duty. I want to do this. This is my calling. That is a sattvic sacrifice. But when a sacrifice is done in the sake of reward or for the sake of vainglory, then it's not really a very pure sacrifice, and that's a rajasic one. You want to be patted on the back for all the good work you've done. Or when a sacrifice is done without faith, without sacred words, it's kind of done in a real negative, like, I don't really want to do this, but I will, then that becomes a tamasic sacrifice, the giving of yourself and your time, but for really a wrong intention behind it. So words, let's look at words. Words which give peace, words which are good and beautiful and true, and also the reading of sacred words in books. This is the harmony of words. This is sattvic words. Quietness of mind, self-harmony, loving kindness, and a pure heart. This is the harmony of the mind. So when words are used for the sake of reputation, for the honor and reverence that I've done this, you brag about it, then this is where the words and the action of the mind is rajasic, and it's unstable and uncertain. And when we move into a little self-torture, too much austerity, or when our mind and our words are aimed at hurting someone else, then that is tamasic, and that is of darkness. So think about the words that you use and the power behind them. This is the Vishuddhi chakra, the throat chakra, and there's so much power behind this chakra. When we think of the power behind this chakra, we can build a person up with our words instantaneously and make their day, or we can crush them with our words and really pull the rug out from under them. So think of the power behind the vibration of the voice and the words, and often think of the three chakras. The heart chakra, this is where we develop our intentions, and then whatever is in the heart eventually becomes vocalized. So we really want to balance it with the higher mind, the higher intelligence of the Ajna chakra. So the more we develop the higher consciousness, that will impact what resolves or resides in our heart. And the heart then develops more spiritually or divine qualities, and then that is reflected in the kinds of things we say. And we want the words to be sattvic and lift up others along the way. Okay, on to gifts. A gift is pure when it is given from the heart to the right person at the right time and at the right place, and when we expect absolutely nothing in return. That is a sattvic gift. When a gift is given expecting something in return, or for the sake of a future reward, or when it is given unwillingly, darn, I gotta go buy a present for so-and-so because we did a gift exchange name or whatever, then that's a rajasic gift. It's not a pure gift. It's not given from the heart because you wish to give it. And when a gift is given to the wrong person at the wrong time, at the wrong place, or it's not coming from the heart and is given with contempt, that is a gift of darkness. That is a tamasic gift. So as you move toward Christmas time, or a time when you need to feel compelled to give a gift to someone because of their birthday or whatever, keep in mind why you're giving the gift. What is the intention behind the gift in order to make it one of harmony, self-harmony, and kindness. So thinking of these three qualities, and what is the intention behind your actions, and to have sattvic actions, harmonious, pure actions, we must also have harmonious and pure intentions behind that action. And when we think of our actions, I want to bring one more in here that isn't, of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's about how you do your yoga practice on your mat. And so when we, it's not in the Bhagavad Gita because we didn't have yoga mats when the Bhagavad Gita was written. So when we get on our yoga mat, what's the intention behind your time there? So what are you called to do? And I know that my teacher, Eric Schiffman, would always say, just sit for a moment on your mat and listen to the inner calling, what kind of practice you want to do at this time. And then move into the practice that you are called to do. So you might want to just do a very slow kind of yin practice, So if you give yourself permission to do nice, gentle holds or restorative practice, then that becomes a sattvic practice because that's what you're called to do. If you don't move with the calling and you just kind of do an inert practice of your heart not in it, well, it becomes tamasic. So what's the intention behind your practice? And you can shift what you are called to do based on that. And then if you want to do a really powerful practice and do 12 sun salutations and really work with your warrior poses and challenging poses, that can be a rajasic practice. You need that energy. You're called to use that energy with it. But if you're competing with the people around you or even with yourself, and you are pushing yourself beyond what is reasonable for you at that given time, that's when it is rajasic. So if it's in tune with what you're called to do and you just really need to burn off some energy, then that is sattvic at the moment, even though it's a high energy practice. So your practice on your mat is tuning into what is needed at that given time. And then you flow with it and it's just perfect. It's just the perfect practice for you today. That is a sattvic practice, whether it's slow and methodical or whether it's energetic and really doing a lot of movement, it can still be a sattvic practice. So I hope that this little talk on the three gunas or the three qualities of nature makes a little bit more sense, and you can tune into how you're feeling each day and try to find the harmony. Try to find what is actually really right for you in that time, in that day. And then hopefully you have a beautiful day by tuning in to what is right at that given time. Thank you and namaste.